Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Monday edition, the 9th of March. It's that kind of edition. It's YSN Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new era. All that stuff that you want to talk about. Welcome to a beautiful week that is going to be in sports. Certainly, it has been an unbelievable year in sports. It's been an unbelievable season of basketball. We've got some teams moving on. Most of those seasons have concluded to this point. We're going to talk to one of the coaches who certainly had one of the most, I want to say, impressive. I also want to say historic. I also want to say deserved seasons in school history, district history, as we will welcome the for the love of God, are you?
Oh, it was a real quick burst. They forgot something.
There's going to be a fight. I just want it on the record. I didn't start this, but I will finish it. We have legendary head coach Mike Skrinjar of the Southern Local Indians joining us here in just moments. But before we get to the coach, ladies and gentlemen, fans, and I can't do this today. I can't do this today with this stupid vacuum cleaner. I'm going to try this one more time. How bad is it? Like in my earphones, it is bad.
You can hear it, but it's not like overwhelming you in at least not on my end. So like you can hear it for sure, but it's not like
Hoover versus Yoakley. Yoakley will always win. I will tell you that. All right.
It's not like the heater at the old office that sounded like it was a Learjet taking off.
The jet engine? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this time I welcome in my co-pilot, partner in crime. Ladies and gentlemen, the 8-time best-selling author, Grammy Emmy Award-winning, world-traveling, Pulitzer Prize nominee, didn't win it, runner-up. That's okay. We'll get him next time. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Ronald Hartwig. Ronnie, how was your weekend, pal?
Oh, it was a good weekend. We had got to cover some more regional basketball, and here we are. I got the softball and baseball spreadsheet last night, so it is made, and softball season starts a week from Saturday, and baseball is 2 weeks from Saturday. So is our All-Star game, by the way, 2 weeks from Saturday. We're cooking. We're cooking.
We are cooking. We are cooking. And the guy hopefully we see at this particular All-Star game in some form or fashion is our first guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy who is always entertaining, one of the most well-dressed, and one of the most loved coaches by all the girls. And if you don't know, go back and look at watch the video. They went on and on about this gentleman because all that he does for them. The head coach of the Southern Local basketball team, an incredible year. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Skrinjar. Coach, how are you, sir?
Doing outstanding. You, DJ and Anthony both bring tears. Eyes swell up a little bit. Heart goes crazy. I appreciate that welcome, but you're absolutely right about our young ladies. I watched that video. It was some of the most powerful, best moments that you could have in your career of coaching, to hear people that you're trying to do everything you can for. I was very grateful for them, and I even let them know that, I mean, you watch that several times and just tears result every time. So they're a very special group, and I was blessed with a very special moment.
Well, you're the one that kind of set that interview up, and we're greatly appreciative for it, because that's a special group, all 12 of them, and you made certain it had to be 12 of them. It wasn't just going to be one or two or the seniors. It had to be that group. Let's start there. I mean, when you're talking about that power punch to 24 wins on the season, historic when it comes to the Lady Indians program, what was it about this group that made them so special here in 25-26?
I think the first is their courage. They had to have the courage in order for them to get to as far as they did, the mental toughness, the things that we had to do as a coaching staff to kind of prepare them for those, type of moments, to where, we believe that in even every win that they all contributed some way, somehow. Nights when, others stepped up and, just energy off the bench was a huge key factor. Those things all meshing together. But it took those 12. You'd love to see more young ladies at Southern Local come out for basketball. But the idea is that what they're going to produce and the results and the investment, it's the longest season of the year. The off season is sometimes grueling as well in the summer. But this 12 had found a way to put together and actually dedicate and be consistent, bring the discipline and the details that they needed to be able to be successful. That's huge, because I think Tom Brady said one time in a great quote that they could be sitting and eating pancakes in their pajamas on days that our young ladies are or even just sleeping. They're up at 7 a.m. and they're practicing 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. On a Saturday, and sometimes longer than that. Those practices are their investment to their greatness. Just being and making sure that they know that those are the things that are gonna pay off in the end. We try to get the most out of practices and know that their work becomes fun, and then the results are being able to play those games together as a unit. And sometimes the practices are grueling, but I believe in that process. I mean, I think that that's the way that you can get results to happen, and obviously to be disciplined enough to go through some ups and downs. We were challenged throughout the year, and even as I looked through some of the teams that we played early on in our EOAC, and we were asked questions whether or not the EOAC teams were going to challenge us. I think in different ways they challenged us, and I think that as I reflected back after the first part of the season, I thought, man, our EOAC, the league, I want that league to be understood that we have some great basketball, some great coaches in there. Our girls just played really well on those nights. And our competition gave us, the challenges, and we were able to do better things that night. But and just reflecting back, our league was, tough, and some of our out of our league opponents were also very challenging. But the practices and what they had to do in the off season to bond together in different pieces. We didn't have everyone all together throughout the summer. That was a huge thing. 3 of our ball players got to play overseas. They had a trip to Africa, and they were able to play our 3 freshmen who are very, very talented. They didn't get a chance to play with the rest of the ball club during the summer, and that was a little bit nerve-wracking coming in, because we had to find a way to mesh them. They're super competitive, and are the ones who had been there, our 4 seniors. They weren't gonna. It was kind of neat to see how them meshed together. At first, our open gyms were kind of very aggressive, and they were just trying to feel each other out because they had never played together as a unit. And then you mesh those juniors in there. I'm telling you what, it got to be a beautiful thing by the end of the year to see them come together and to just be able to have the results they had to have and grow as a team. We wanted to create the ultimate team, and I think that was our ultimate goal. We want to win, but you win with a team, and you win with each other, and we believed in that from the moment that they stepped foot in that gym. That's what we had to create.
Not only are you 12 strong with the team and the roster, but your coaching staff is an army in itself. I mean, you walk in, 9 assistant coaches. Talk about what it means to have so many adults in the community and adults in this kind of program. Not just want to show up to the game, but also invest in this program and help you build what makes Southern so special.
I mean, that brings a lot of emotion to me as well, because those adults not only have high expectations for the kids, but those adults, when we have them in the gym together with those girls, that they provide so much support, so much love, so much care. I'm a believer in that. I'm a believer in what those our staff was able to bring. They each, just like each player contributed, each one of our staff contributed, amazing things. All but one on our staff was an Indian alum, and that's very powerful. But Coach Spallinger, he just the way he's committed to Southern Local as a father, as a fan, as someone who I've coached with in football, but he's also an Indian, and it brings so much pride. So when you have that kind of idea that, hey, we're Indians and we're trying to not only just win for each other, but win and represent our school and represent what we believe in as graduates, that's very powerful as well. That having a lot of adults around our team was something. When I was coaching football, we would and he was such a great character and still is. Reno down at Steubenville would invite us down there to go down there and scrimmage, and it was through the gauntlet in the summer. It was hot, and he would just put you through a nonstop scrimmage, one team after that, on the field. And what happened, what I would see is when the players would come off the field, they each had a coach that was just invested in them, and sometimes invested in them with intensity and just grilling them, constructively criticizing, or just calling them out for any little detail. And then I would watch the result as Steubenville would play every year, and they would run multiple formations, multiple defenses. They had the most disciplined kids that would do great things, and they were consistent every year, being super competitive. And I said that, well, there's got to be a recipe that that he's bringing. And just to see that, every player have a coach, we try to have that same impact. Every one of our players, I feel like after, they're not always doing everything right out there at practice. And our job is to, we believe in anything you do is everything you do. So, any little habit that we allow, and you try to be as perfect as possible, but it doesn't always work that way. But when you have coaches and those eyes on those players, I mean, you pick out all the little things, and sometimes they don't adjust well to that. But that was another thing that we had to definitely get through, as to get better. And a lot of times it's they throw a lot of they care about me, but I had to be that ultimate person that sometimes has to be like, this is what needs to be done, and here's how we can fix this, and here's some things you can do better. And sometimes it doesn't always get relayed that way, and they give a little bit of gripe back, but that's part of the coach-player relationship. And then when you have other coaches doing that, Coach Frendro is not always the lone wolf. It's calling out every little mistake that needs to be corrected, because those mistakes will come up in the games. And we believe in that philosophy, believe in that process.
I think that leads me into my next question. You talk about this team that has so many great role models on the sideline, on the bench, in the room, in the lab, so to speak. Over the course of the season, you go 24 straight wins. Did the pressure build, I don't know, did it build diamonds, create diamonds, or was it you constantly kind of, okay, when are the pipes going to burst? What was your vision for this? And obviously there was a lot of success this season, but that success creates a little bit of anxiety along the way, especially for young ladies on the basketball floor or in a classroom, or especially when you're on YSN and there's a lot of pressure. And are you the best team? Are you really the best team? The competition that you played continued to be level up. What was it like for you? Did you feel the pressure from a coaching standpoint? Did the girls feel the pressure from a player standpoint?
I like what you said first there. That's a great way to look at it, with building diamonds out of that pressure. I believe those pressure situations are created in practice, finding ways to figure things out as a team. We constantly put them in different little challenges where, a lot of times, they're not necessarily getting that challenge. What are they going to do next? How are they going to become that ultimate competitor? I know that pressure builds. So we balance it out, too, with the idea of, them finding ways to have fun through that pressure. We talked about a lot of times too, like as we're trying to do more and do more, it gets grueling. So the monotonous work of like coming in and just trying to get better, that whole philosophy, those girls, any athlete's like, man, this is just grueling. I go back to practice. So we had to, believe in different scenarios. One is, if you're a fighter that's in a 6-week training, like no one fighter, unless they're absolute a maniac, which I think we created those type of maniacs because they love their work by the end. But those maniacs inside their brain have to say, you know what, I got to love this training for the next 6 weeks because the ultimate goal is going to be amazing. The ultimate goal of winning that fight at the end and fighting and being in that arena is going to feel amazing. And so keeping that in perspective is a huge thing for them. And knowing that, we got to have fun in our work. But the pressure does build. And I think that you get to the point where everyone's going to bring their A game against you. And with pressure, there's privilege. And we understand that too. It's like, it's an honor to have this pressure. It's an honor. We talked about it with Alyssa Schroeds all the time. She's one of the, best shooters in the history of, Ohio basketball with 220, total 3-pointers as in her career. That puts her in a list of a top 65. She hit 81 this year in her season. So you got to feel like when I look at her and I think I'm so proud of her and so proud of all the 12 because, she had to make big shots and big time moments. And when everybody knows that she can hit the shots, and she's got to actually do that. I mean, for young ladies in high school to have to go through those type of things, I think that creates character. And that's what I admire about that 12 the most is everyone we put in pressure situations, and every one of our ball players at different times in practice would just be so amazing in the way that they overcome adversity, whether it be, we put them in a foul shot situation. They didn't make the foul shot. So he's like, you want to line up and do it again. You want to line up and, you want to fight harder next time. Oh, I can't wait to do it again. That type of mentality. And all of our girls really bought into that. And then they would, hit the next foul shot. And those foul shots are just crucial, but it's just that little instance where we challenge them in practice. And it's the simplest. It doesn't have to be crazy challenges. It's the simplest challenge to show that they can rally together as a team, rally together as an athlete, compose themselves, create that type of mentality. It's an entire process that I believe in as a coach, and our staff also is the same way. We have an incredible staff who holds them to those expectations, but also brings the love. And it's a dynamic, it's amazing. And they're Indian alum, Corey Boyle's a Southern local Hall of Famer. Justin Guerin's a Hall of Famer. Mark Withrow has been one of the most loyal coaches I've ever had. Just do all the little things. Nikki Kellogg, Katie's mom and Haley's mom. I mean, if you sat down and talked to this, she is one of the hardest working, other than my mom, who I admire too. She's just another one, just, an outstanding. She is crazy. She runs our boosters and she's nonstop work. So it's, having her as a leader and a model. I brought back one of our former players that I coached when I first started coaching basketball, who kept bringing the perspective of, I'd love to be in this position, but we took our whoopings, and our girls, had a long time had to buy into that. Where like, okay, what's this, young coach talking about? Well, she would love to be in the position that they're in. Coach Turdina was a guy I coached back in the day, and he's another one that just has so much passion on the bench and just is relayed. So you put all those people together, and then having, myself, it just balanced everything out because I can't help from being a maniac myself. And then those people all brought us all together. It just was a mesh that we believed in.
Coach, the last thing I want to kind of get from you is the freshman class this year in the girls basketball, area. You go through the Tri-County area even is maybe one of the best freshman classes we've had in girls basketball in a long time. And your freshman class is a part of it. From your perspective, what has been so, apparent in this freshman class, getting them to be able to make immediate impacts as soon as they step on the floor at the varsity level?
One thing I believe is, in our area, I think we have some of the, the best basketball in girls. And I don't get to see a bunch of the boys because you get locked in on the girls. It is so competitive. And I guess that competitive raises the bar for everybody else to be competitive, because if you don't get in that arena of just constantly trying to improve, I mean, you get left behind and the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And, that is a huge part of it. So, our youth program that Coach Huxell runs, shout out to him. My goodness, there are so many girls that are playing basketball in our area, and they're playing it at a high competitive level where those youth games, if you go to youth wrestling, it's craziness. And those younger ones are getting the experience. And then by the time they get up into the junior high, into the high school, they played a lot of basketball, a lot of just growing moments. I believe in that process. It's not easy for the parents and those people to get them to those games every weekend. But that whole process has made basketball in our area super competitive. And with our three, Coach Boyle and Coach Kellogg have been following those girls around and taking them everywhere. And those parents that are all involved, they flew to Africa to play basketball. So any chance that they get to play ball, they're already starting their AAU. So it takes amazing adults to be able to provide those opportunities for kids. And then, with that, if the kids buy in and put the work in, they're going to get better. It's like doing push-ups every day. You're going to get better at it. And then the product's there. It puts the pressure on the coaches because now, everybody has got that idea that what can we do to continue to keep getting better? And you got to find different ways to separate from that as well. So I like that. And there's no way for you not to have to do your work and find ways to do a little bit more. That Kobe Bryant mentality, that is absolute, dog mentality, that Mamba mentality. What can I do a little bit more? And can you get those to buy into that? It's an animal. And I love competitive sports because I need that. I need that tunnel vision, and it allows, me to be able to be the person I'm supposed to be, because you have to put your work in, and you got to find ways to recover with re-energizing, and our athletes are doing those kind of things. You can, the idea and the notion that our athletes can't train hard and work hard I don't believe in that. I believe that if you find a way to support them, your athletes can be pushed to, and it's got to be mental as well, where you're finding ways to mentally, have them recover or mentally reflect, and not only just physically. And I'm a believer in nutrition and finding ways to feed our athletes. So all that comes into to play. And you get that now with those freshmen that, they play a lot of basketball, but how do their bodies respond? How their mind respond to be playing every weekend and doing that? It has to take a support system. It's an amazing support system. And I credit Coach Boyle and Coach Kellogg for how he's done that with our freshmen. Our freshmen have been playing since in third grade, and the results show every one of them can contribute. And, I was super proud of them this year. They put a lot of competition on our seniors and juniors for playing time, but we had to find a way to make it mesh.
My last question for you, Coach, is kind of going off of what you just said and going off of what the girls said. One of the last questions was, why is Coach Scrinjar so important to you, and what makes him different? And there was a lot of different answers, obviously 12 different answers that they had. But one of the ones that stood out to me were the fact that you just don't show up during basketball season. You show up at different events that are important to the girls. Why is it so important to you to show up in other capacities of their life outside of just basketball?
I love that question, DJ. I love that question because, I had some of the best support system around me growing up, and that's maybe why I got into education. I had some of the best teachers, some of the best role models, some of the best coaches. But my model was my mom and dad. When I went and played football in college, they showed up every Saturday. They showed up at everything I did. That's a reflection of those adults in my life. And they were the most valuable to me as I was growing up because, they were always there. My dad would go buy like 6 pair of like Kmart shoes. And my mom would get so mad at him. He had the ability to buy, a different pair of shoe, but he bought them Velcro shoes and he would just wear them out. But you know what? If I would go clean the ditch and do something or get great grades, I'd be wearing Jordans. My mom has been nonstop work her entire life. So I feel like that's kind of like been an impact and an imprint on me. And I just feel like, hey, if I was given the blessing to give time to another, and I believe in that, I think that, you show up as much as you possibly can and you live out every second of your day to try to help another. I believe in that philosophy just to support another. A high five, a great job. It might be to where, you sometimes it's like, man, coach is always cheering me on. But I think that it's so very valuable. I think every little thing that you can give in this world, whether it be you playing an instrument, you in a National Honor Society, whatever you can do to create a positive vibration, I'm a believer in that. And if I can create a positive vibration with the blessing that I have to be able to give to another, whether it be using my voice, using anything I can to shirt off my back, whatever I could do for somebody, I just think if we are given that blessing, then you share that you honor that. I might not be, NFL, and I told my mom, I'm playing NFL. And she's like, you're going to have to get a job. So with that, she was direct with that. I played in college, but she was like, you're going to have to get a job. So I think that's what you need to do right now. And I was like, I'll play football forever. But my blessing is, the fact that, that I can be that person in somebody's life and through my whole experience. And to me, to be able to give back to my athletes, just with, what I can do for them, I'm a believer in that. I did it when I coached football. This 12 this year, though, brought out the best in me because, there's no stone unturned. And I credit all the ones in the past that I've ever coached because it helped make me a better coach. But this 12, I did whatever I could on every day-to-day basis to try to, help them in every day of their life, just as, their character at practice, just to make them the best human beings that they can. And I told them in the locker room all the time that they have a chance to impact the world. And just like we're doing right now, that's like what you two are doing, and I'm a believer in it. You have an ability to help another person. And it could be opening a door. It could be someday, you have to go to their house because they need something, they need support. It's just, if they can give that to someone, and they created that with the positive vibration they did to our community backed them so much. And I said, look around right now and at that district championship game, look how many people you brought here, how many people that you're going to be able to impact in the world. And you honor that. And they may not always do it all the time, but when they realize that that's inside of them, they're gonna help change the world. And whether it's one little vibration at all, that's what makes me crazy. I believe in that. I believe that you can impact the world and you can make this place better.
You're not crazy. I can tell you this, man. I would play for you any day. A coach stands up for me and talks the way you talk and acts the way you act, and not just, again, you got to walk it as a coach. You can't just tell kids what you're going to do and who you're going to be. You got to do it. And it was apparent when in that interview that you've done it. And you've changed 12 lives the way that they've changed yours. So, Coach, I can't thank you for – I know this was a tough interview for you today to come in at noon. Thank you so much for cutting out some time for us. You are always welcome here. You are an inspiration. We love having you. And, boy, I cannot wait till the next time we get to talk to you, Coach. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you both dearly. So, thank you.
You're the best, pal. Go Indians, right?
Yeah, go Lady. Yeah, go Indians. Go all Indians. Go all Lady Indians and all Indians.
And Guardians at the same time. But hey, Coach, love you, appreciate you. Be well, man. Have a great day.
Love you guys too.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Southern Local, Mike Scrinjar.
The man.
Tell me, he's talking about vibrations. I'm thinking about vibes. And I'm like, you put Andy Hake and Mike Scrinjar in one room?
Oh, boy.
The most dynamic, dynamite. I mean, the biggest show we could ever possibly create.
That might break the internet. It might break the internet.
And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. We will dominate the internet, and that will happen. We will stir that drink at some point in the future. But to have Andy in football and have Mike in basketball, I mean, we need. Where's our crazy run through a wall for this guy, baseball or softball coach? That's what we're looking for.
You got to find one. Let's go.
We're going to find one. I cannot think. Mike Scrinjar, one of the most sincere, and people look at just he walks into a room, right? And he's different, right? It's the same way that all the great coaches are. I would play for Mike. I would play for Mike Scrinjar. I would play and I remember him, and he comes from humble beginnings, and he's never going to tell you about what he doesn't have. He's going to tell you about the great things that he does have and all the things that he's earned along the way. The fact that he's getting the respect that is due because of what he has fought to have, not just in his locker room. in the community, in the school district. I will always be a Mike Scrinjar guy. I will always be a Mike Scrinjar guy, and he's one that has had our back at every term, seemingly as well. So thanks to Coach Scrinjar for popping on the show today and kind of recapping what made this year so special in Southern Local, especially in the program that he loves so much. So hey, kudos. I mean, I could have I was just going to let him talk for as long as he wanted. He could have had it. Like, go ahead, man. You're pumping me up. I'm sitting here doing push-ups, and he's like, if you do push-ups, you do better. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do one better.
I'm doing them, coach. Coach. I got you.
No, thanks to Coach for popping by, and certainly if you've never got to experience Michael Scrinjar, boy, you are missing out. And we love
down to the
having him
wigwam.
Boy, oh boy, I love having him on this program. Shifting gears, Anthony, we talked about it. Spring is here. Sean Elwood popping in, saying spring is here as well. You know what that means?
It's
My
baseball,
sport right around the corner,
right
pal.
around the corner, man.
This is it. And something that we've wanted to do for such a long time. And hey, we've made history with this young man. Why not? And he approached us and said, hey, I would love to make my announcement, my commitment, my formal commitment to the next level right here on YSN. And doing that, ladies and gentlemen, from the Western Reserve Blue Devil baseball team. Ladies and gentlemen, no stranger to the program. Oh, crap. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
He's there. That was Mike
Popped
left.
up.
Mike left.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Stacy. What's up, Big Blue? How we doing? Oh, we can't hear. Oh, no. We can't hear you. Are you muted?
He's not muted on the StreamYard.
Okay. Here's what we're going to need you to do, Hunter. We'll roll the blue and red carpet back out for you. Pop out, pop back in. Hopefully, check your mic settings, all that stuff. Hopefully, we can hear you. We'll make this work. We will be here as long as we need to. While we're waiting, while we're doing the dance, welcome to Flying Without a Safety Net. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we bring in our NFL reporter here on Free Agent Frenzy Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Calcutta, Ohio, Mr. Michael McKenzie. Mikey, welcome back, pal.
You cut out at the end there. You cut out at the end. But I heard most of what you were saying.
This show stinks. You missed that. Mikey, for you, big day in the NFL. Free agent frenzy. What are you most excited for? We are 35 minutes in to the free agent market in the NFL. Let everybody know what's happened since we were talking to Coach Scrinjar. What has happened in the world of the NFL? Anything big yet?
Well, Anthony's team's trying to ruin things. They just signed the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, a few minutes ago. So that was a big one. Alec Pierce re-signed with the Colts. He got like $29 million per year.
Oh boy,
over 4 with Indianapolis to go back.
That's big money for us.
That was huge money for Alec Pierce. Other than that, nothing really big yet. Everybody's waiting on the Malik Willis shoe to drop. A lot of teams want to be in on him and be the ones to give him a shot, but he's going to end up getting $40 million a year. So I don't know if that's so-called giving a guy a shot as opposed to signing a guy you think you're going to be a franchise quarterback.
We are going to try to get Hunter Stacy back on here. Let's see let's roll out the red carpet. Mikey, we're going to put you backstage. Keep an eye on the free agent stuff while we talk to Hunter.
We'll do. I'll be diligent.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mikey McKenzie here on Free Agent Frenzy Monday. That's our own little Adam Schefter back there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's try this again. Please, God, work. Making his formal commitment here on our show, breaking ground on YSN Live. A legend. We love him. One of the best baseball players in the area. Certainly, probably going to be at the YSN All-Star Baseball game this year. From Western Reserve, Mr. Hunter Stacy.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah!
Yes. Let's go.
Technology. Hunter, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you certainly always coming to us and wanting to talk, talking stickball, talking about your future. For you, this is your moment, man. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to roll out the red carpet for you here. You are going to make your commitment where you're going to go at the next level. We'll give you full screen access, and then we'll go into the Q&A. How's that?
All right, that's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Stacy.
So, with my formal commitment, I'll be going to Ohio Dominican University. It's just been a lifelong goal to play at the collegiate level since I was a little kid, and I finally get to live out that dream.
Almost dropped the swag. Almost dropped the swag. Hunter, congratulations, first and foremost, man. It's awesome. I know that you had all the things lined up. You want to do the grand reveal where you had the one shirt on, you took it off.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way. That's okay. Number one, you got to be able to adjust. And you've done that your entire career. And certainly as you move towards the college ranks, this being your senior year, what were some of the things that you loved about Ohio Dominican and what made it feel like home for you for the next, hopefully, 4 to 5 years?
So their campus is real small. Well, compared to relatively big schools like Ohio State and that, there's only 1,200 kids throughout their entire school. So it kind of gives me a sense of like how I feel at reserve. There's not very many kids in my grade. I think there's like 48. So like I'm used to that small school setting. And, I've been down there a couple times just to like meet with the coach and that and watch a couple games. And the culture that like they have there is just something I want to be a part of. And that's the deciding factor.
I'm sure you've had the chance to kind of meet some of the players and meet the coaching staff. And like you said, watch this team. How do you think you fit in? What are some things that kind of mesh with the chemistry of the locker room already that you see from this team and from the people you've been able to meet?
They seem to have like a real, like the coaching staff seems to have like a calm demeanor. They're not too, I guess, pushy. Like they make the players understand like what's needed of them, but like they kind of almost play like that friend role and like leader in the same like environment. And that's something I really like with like the staff, very personable. And then the players themselves seem to be high energy, and it's always good to have those type of teams.
What were some of the important things about a college experience for you? I mean, it's very rare nowadays that a high school senior is going to get kind of swept off their feet because of the NIL and the transfer portal and all that stuff that goes into the next level, no matter what division you're in. For you, what were some of the things that you were like, wow, this is really nice. These are my expectations. And, Ohio Dominican met them at whatever level you needed them to meet them.
There wasn't like anything really specific, like athletically, that like I really cared about. Like I just wanted the chance to go out there and play. But academically is like where I'd focus the most. And I feel like their programs are relatively strong and will get me to where I need to be in my life after baseball. And the coach says that, like they have study tables throughout the week, and, that's always a good thing to hear. So it's real important.
That boy studying. See, your folks are probably sitting there like, that's our baby boy right there. He's studying. He's studying. He's definitely not partying. There's no way he's partying at Ohio Dominican. No way. None.
What will you be studying? What are some things you got in those books?
So the first year, kind of just going to test the waters. I'm going to go into exercise science if I stick with that, I'll end up being like a physical therapist, go down that road. But if not, I'm going to switch to like a finance major. So
that's a hard, like, two ends of the spectrum there. We're going to go from exercise science to
both
finance.
Things I really like. So
one of them you're behind a desk. One of them you're never at a desk. So there's, hey, good for you, man. Way to shake things out a little bit. When it comes to, I know this was a dream of yours. We've talked about it both, in person. We've talked about it on this. We've talked about it in like social media messaging. When you realized that your dream was coming true, when you were able to get someone and you latched on at the next level, what was that feeling like for you? Have you been able to really compartmentalize it, and can you look back on it and say, wow, all these moments up to this point have led me to where I'm about to go?
It's a real like weight off my chest. It's kind of been something that I've been looking forward to, and that's since I was little. And the fact that I can officially say like that I'm going to be a college baseball player is something that it doesn't seem real to me yet. I'm sure it'll like set in here soon, but that's all I really got.
For you,
When you
man,
think
there you go.
think about what it means to have this commitment before your senior year, so you can focus on Western Reserve this year and making the best team as possible. You don't have to worry about getting on coach's radar or that recruiting process anymore. What's that mean to you to be able to have this senior year just that being the focus?
It definitely makes it a lot easier because going into the season, it was always a goal to like be committed before games actually started, because now I can focus entirely on our high school team and not have to worry about talking to like coaches and figuring out where I'm going to end up going to school. So it allows us to focus on like the goal at hand, which is in reality to win a state championship. But sometimes things don't fall that way, but we're going to try our best to get there.
Hunter, you're a young man who obviously had lots of role models, lots of people that you looked up to, and now you are the one that everybody looks to and everybody chases. So for you, what words of encouragement or determination would you give to that next generation, whether they're Blue Devils or whatever, that are watching you right now, making this commitment live here on YSN? Thank you very much. But really, what are those words of wisdom that you like to pass on to that next generation of whatever athlete it is, boy, girl, and whatever sport?
Just follow your dreams, and that no matter what people say, that you can always push yourself to get to the level you want to obtain. I mean, I know growing up, that's what I stuck with was, it's going to happen. Nobody can tell me otherwise, and it finally became a reality.
When you made that commitment and you made that decision, who were some of the first people you reached out to let them know that you were going on to the next level?
So my mom was there with me when I committed, but one of the first people I called was my dad and my grandparents. They've been there, coached me throughout my career. I mean, my grandpa still coaches me. He coaches high school and in the summer leagues. So they're real important to me. And then I also called my other summer baseball coach because he was real big with helping me with recruiting as well.
Has it hit yet? Has it like really landed that you did it, you made it, and you're going to go to the next level?
Not really. I mean, I know for my mom and my rest of my family, they're real emotional for me, but I feel like I haven't really, felt that way yet because it hasn't really set in.
You got a whole season left, dude. You got a whole season. All this is on. So I guess my last question for you is going to be expectations. I mean, when you're talking to the coaching staff, when you're talking obviously to you planning your future, you have to have expectations for yourself. For you, what are your expectations at the next level? Not knowing what your senior year holds for you, what are your expectations of looking at Hunter Stacy, the freshman baseball player at Ohio Dominican?
Honestly, I want to go in there and obviously compete. I'm gonna give them whatever I got, and to make sure that I give them a fair look to see me on the field, and whether I play or not my freshman year or anything like that, it's turns into a job. So like my expectations for myself are, you don't show up, then what's the point of doing it? So I'm just going to give them 100% effort, and we'll go from there.
My last question for you is: what can we expect from Hunter Stacy this senior year? What are some things that you're got in the back pocket this year for baseball that everyone's gonna have to be on the lookout for?
I don't know. There's not really anything special. It's kind of the same thing that I've been doing the last 3 years of high school. Just the only thing I can say is, try to put a couple over the wall. But
There you go.
That a boy, a little meat and potatoes from Hunter Stacy. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Are they going to let you pitch at the next level too, or are you just going to be a position?
it's not really something I've talked about with him yet, just because I haven't really done that like a lot during my high school career since freshman year.
Yep.
But right now we're looking at first base and corner outfield, just as a way of
keep them options
waiting on
open,
the
baby.
field. So
Hunter, we appreciate you, man. Dude, can you put one at like 450 this year? Just absolutely tattoo one.
I can try.
Hey, you said it best, right? I'm going to get out there. I'm going to give you my all every single time. You can't do it if you don't try. So, Hunter, we're proud of you, incredibly proud of you, what you've been able to do over the course of your career, and still with a year left, a lot of meat on the bone, man. So continue what you've done and continue those little kids chasing after you and wanting to be like Hunter Stacy. We're proud of you here at YSN, dude.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Ohio Dominican baseball team next year, but still a Western Reserve Blue Devil at heart and forever, Hunter Stacy. Hunter, thank you so much, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Congratulations. Can you imagine facing that dog in the box? Like, you're a pitcher. Okay, I got 85 miles an hour. I'm going to throw him a fastball here, try to slip it by. And old Hunter Stacy going to go 450 on you. Like, he is Shohei Ohtani.
That's for you. Hey, what pitch do you want? It doesn't matter. You're going to hit it over the wall anyway. So just tell me what you want, and I'll just throw it to you.
Yeah, good night, sweet prince. Like, you can try, but you will not succeed.
I want to see Hunter Stacy pull like that kid from Angels in the Outfield where he has like 3 bats that he comes up to and he just flips like 2 of them over his shoulder. And
Hunter Stacy's kind of guy. I mean, we're building his lure right here, but he's the kind of guy like in Rookie of the Year, like Cato. Just grinds it, and the sawdust is coming out of the wood bat. Like, he's boy's country strong. He's a big feller, and man, he can hit the ball a country mile, and he's going to. And Ohio Dominican, hey, got a good one. Corner outfield, first base. He's home at first, right? Like, that's his spot.
Yeah, that's his spot, man.
He's living, but hey, he's got a little bit of that speed too. Got a little bit of that speed, and that's what coaches see. Hey, potentially, we could keep you in the line, and that's the part that people don't understand. Is it's not getting into the lineup; it's staying in the lineup.
Yep.
That's in baseball and softball. That's the big part. Getting to the lineup, not a problem. Staying in the lineup, big problem, big obstacle. So, ladies and gentlemen. Returning to the show, as he's been backstage the entire time.
Probably he has an update. Does he have an update?
I don't know, but we're going to give it to him anyway. He is the most dynamic of all of the reporters and anchors and broadcasters here at YSN. I would argue the legendary Michael McKenzie returns to the show. Michael, what do we have news-wise?
We got 2. One involves the Steelers. Do you want that one first or last?
Second.
Okay, first one, Malik Willis is going to Miami. He's going to follow Jeff Hafley and go to the Dolphins.
Oh, this is
he's going to get big money contract. I mean, that was the big quarterback everybody was watching, but
so they drop Tua, just so we're all on the same page. They drop Tua and they pick up the right-hand version of Tua.
The right-hand version of Tua with a little more athleticism. But, I mean, I don't think that changes their franchise
now, remember,
that much. Plus, they've got $99 million dead cap for Tua.
Call me crazy, Mikey. Tua was pretty athletic before somebody decapitated him.
A couple of times.
You're right. He was. He was very athletic before, a couple concussions here and there.
Before his brain was a potato, he was probably pretty
We can.
Pretty athletic.
I think that's accurate to put it that way. But
I mean,
the one involving the Steelers,
Oh
they
boy.
traded for Michael Pittman Jr.
What?
So they
Oh,
they
gosh,
they
what did we
think,
give up?
I assume, have solved their wide receiver 2 issue.
That is huge.
The trade involved. I think it's. I don't know what picks yet, but it's a late round pick swap. So something like they give up a 5th and then they get Pittman Jr. and a 7th. Something similar to that.
We got. Wait a minute.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm wrapping my brain around. So we got essentially a number 1 receiver because he was. I know that they just paid. The Colts just paid.
Yeah, I would still say he was their number 1 for most of his time there.
For a 5th?
Something like either I would say a 4th is at most what they gave up, with the wording of late round pick swap.
That's highway robbery.
So
Hey,
they
thank you, Colts. Thank you, Colts.
Yeah, and then they also plan to sign him to an extension. I don't know for
Well, I
how
think that
long. I
had
don't
to
know
be-
for how much. But
Wow, I can't.
seems like Pittman's going to be here for the relatively long haul.
Pierce is like Austin Collie version 2. I don't even know if you're old enough to remember Austin
am not.
Collie. Yeah, Austin Collie was like the safety blanket for Peyton Manning. And I don't know what the Colts are going to do. I was worried that when you said Colts, I was worried that we went and got Anthony Richardson, which I would still be okay with, but that would tell me that Aaron Rodgers is out of it. And I'm not there yet. I still want I want A-Rod come back, 43 years old and all.
You want Rodgers back?
I want Howard as QB1 eventually. I think he is the future, but I'm not sure if he's there yet. You can season that steak a little more, a little marinade, and then we go. But I think Rodgers, hey, if they're going out and they're getting receivers, they got something up their sleeve for quarterback.
I mean, you would think, but
Benny Skoronek's not going to be. I mean, I know he's a Pro Bowler now.
not for his wide receiver abilities, though.
One of my favorite Steelers is Ben Skowronek.
Oh, I love Skoranek. That's a Pittsburgh type of guy right there. But you're right.
Hey,
he's not.
Who's going to throw the rock for the Steelers? Not Shedeur Sanders, Sam. How about that? Or Dylan Gabriel.
Thank God.
Or Deshaun Watson.
Now here's the thing that I'm worried about. Do they think that they have a safe backup plan in Ty Simpson in the first round if Rodgers doesn't sign?
Why? No, just no.
I don't believe so, but I don't know what they're thinking. So,
yeah, Ben Skowronek from the University of Notre Dame. Yeah, we know Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler. We know.
Pro Bowler.
Coincidentally, he did just as well in the Pro Bowl as he did all season for the Browns with that interception. If you were watching, I heard about it. It was clipped.
But they played that game on like a Thursday, right? Or a Tuesday or something like that, like middle of the week.
The Pro Bowl is so stupid.
It is.
Like they say our All-Star game is gimmicky at the high school level. Like what are you doing? You're just selling tickets at this point for that thing. Like that's all that is. I'm
pretty sure they played it in like a convention center this year.
Just some dude from the National Automobile Dealers Association in the
They
background.
play it at the IX Indoor IX Center.
IX Indoor
Indoor.
Gotta get to the. I am like Michael Pittman. That's huge.
Now, I think the Steelers ended up lucking out with that because if the Colts don't sign Alec Pierce to the money that they did, they probably don't trade Michael Pittman. They had to get that money off the books because they want to extend Daniel Jones. I know they gave him the transition tag, but they want to extend him long term. I think they're at a bit of an impasse. I think the Colts want to give him $30 per year. Daniel Jones and his camp want $50. But even if Daniel Jones
doesn't-
comes
literally
down to 30,
doesn't
they
have
need
a leg.
money.
He literally doesn't have a leg to stand on right now. Like he's got
He actually
broken
he has
leg.
one leg to stand on. Technically, he doesn't have.
Didn't
two.
he break one leg and then tore the ACL or something in the other? Or there was an injury
I
of both
thought-
legs.
Was it both legs?
I was
thought it was
watching
just
Pat
one.
McAfee. I'm just reporting, just journalism. Chiefs are signing the Pro Bowl MCP, whatever
He means
MCP.
I think he meant
MVP.
MVP.
Oh, swiney.
Thanks, Swiney. Thanks, Seahawks.
There it is, MVP.
There it is. He fixed it.
I thought Swiney had some like breaking news that they changed the MVP to MCP.
I wouldn't be shocked. Swiney knows all.
He does. I mean, listen, when you're talking about big brains, you're talking about Mike Swinehart. Like he is the biggest brain of all of us here at YSN. No offense, Mikey. Okay, so anticipation. What are we're waiting on what shoe to drop? Who's the biggest free agent out there right now? Willis is now a Dolphin.
Willis is gone. I don't.
Which makes absolutely no sense to me, by the way.
I mean, what? He had a good game and maybe a half for the Packers last year, late in the season.
The dude was a bust for 4.5 years.
And
because he was Titans quarterback, right? That's who drafted him.
yeah, he was a Titans quarterback, and then they had to start him his first year. They had no plans of starting him first year, and then Tannehill got hurt, and they never signed a real backup. So
Max
he
Crosby
got
to
thrust in,
Baltimore.
and it was obvious he wasn't ready.
I don't know if Crosby already, and I don't know if anybody. There's a lot of stuff happening over the weekend, but Max Crosby was traded from the
That's
Raiders to Baltimore, and is already talking about how he can't wait to get back to Las Vegas somehow. Like if I'm Baltimore, I'm like, wait, what? We just
got you.
rescued you from
Gave up
basically
2 first rounders.
football hell. Like I'm sure you had a
You wanna
good
go
time.
back?
But like he's like, you know what? I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas one day. Hey, wait a minute, dude. Time out. What? He also has. I mean, I respect that. You know what out of him, but dude, no, you don't say that. And maybe that's why teams were so like, we're not going to give up the farm for this cat. I don't know, Mikey. Your house sounds like the Bumpus' house right now with the dogs.
I didn't hear anybody barking.
Was that your house, Anthony?
So he muted.
Of course
It
not.
is.
No, I
You
know.
son of a gun.
He tried to frame me.
That was on me. That's on me. I thought that was you.
No, sometimes there is the interruption with the dogs here. So that's a fair assumption.
The Bumpus.
The extension for Michael Pittman is going to be 3 years, $59 million.
Jeez, oh man. Well, was it 20 million a year, right? Ish.
Yeah, like just.
So
under, but yeah.
we've got $50 million in 2 receivers wrapped up a year.
Well, at least with the DK Metcalf, he got into it with a fan, so now his went from like almost all guaranteed to none of it's guaranteed. So
That's great.
sure there's room for
Great.
restructuring down the road. But I'll tell you what, you know who lost? You know who was the biggest loser this weekend? Joe Burrow.
Why?
Hey,
You got another pass rusher to worry. I got TJ Watt on one side, I got Myles Garrett on the other, and now Max Crosby's in front of my face.
let
Hey,
me
bro,
get an
he's
O line.
game of the year.
Let me just put it out there. He's dating Jessica Alba now. So I don't think
he wins.
I don't think you and I are in the same conversation right now, McNuggies.
But during football season, he's going to be a loser. Off season, he's one of the biggest winners. He's got all that money. He's got the
In a Batmobile?
smoking girlfriend. Yeah, absolutely. He's the in life he's the winner, but in football terms, he's not looking too pretty.
Sam,
I
if
mean,
you're
if-
gonna come at me, at least spell it right.
He did. He corrected it.
Well, corrections don't
down.
count.
If we're gonna grade out errors today, we've had our fair share there, Ronnie. And also
We're
the
talking
biggest
today.
brain of all
Today.
YSN. made a spelling error, and we didn't call him out
It
necessarily.
wasn't a
We
shot.
gave-
It wasn't no shade in that spelling errors without shade.
gave
is
him
fine.
credit because he's in Cincinnati. Sam, I'm starting to feel that
Is he
Sam
a Cleveland
Torres.
fan? I just want to make
Yes,
sure.
he's a Cleveland fan.
Okay.
You can't
That's what I
say-
picked up. That is.
You can't say Michigan around the guy. You can't even like, hey, I think I'm going to take a nice vacation to somewhere in Michigan because he's like, nope, never going to do that. And now Cincinnati's on the chopping block. I get that Cincinnati's like basically a part of Kentucky, but it's also actually in Ohio. I think Sam's kind of salty. He's had a long weekend. I will give him that. He's had a long weekend. Thoughts and prayers to the Torres family. In all seriousness, but Sam, you can't take your aggression out on Cincinnati, pal. Because all things considered, they're still a better franchise than the Cleveland Browns. I would argue that. Any debate?
No debate.
Got none from me.
Okay. All right. See, Sam, you're all by yourself on that one. Sorry, pal.
Got none from me.
Let's put a pin in this thing because this show just went off the rails. It stinks. McNuggies, another Grammy or another award-winning performance. You can have a Grammy, Emmy, whatever you want. Whatever, sports Emmy.
Got to take an Oscar?
You want an
Well, those
Oscar?
are coming up. Those are
I
coming
can
up.
introduce you as an Oscar award winner tomorrow. That's not a problem.
Perfect.
Because you know who's going to be on the show tomorrow?
Who's going to be on the show tomorrow?
Ladies and gentlemen, from Channel 21, WFMJ, today, but tomorrow. Morning anchor, Steve Veazey, will join the show. We will talk about Steve Veazey. We will talk to Steve Veazey. We will talk about Steve Veazey. We will talk about his history as, believe it or not, Steve was a sports guy breaking into the business, I believe in Buffalo. We will talk to Steve about all of that. He's got a son. He's got many children, but he's got one that plays for Poland. And we will talk about what it's like to be a sports dad. And I mean, I can say it. He is a celebrity. There's no doubt in my mind that when you see Steve Veazey, he's the only person I think I would ever. And I'm debating on whether to open the show with this tomorrow. Of a man's voice that I wake up to every morning
Oh God.
with a cup of coffee. And it's not the same unless I hear Steve Veazey say, "We'll see you dark and early." So tomorrow, not dark and early, we will see Steve Veazey. The guy. This is so confusing. WFMJ today, tomorrow, on YSN Live. This show stinks. It's
Got to be a better way to say that.
Oh,
Less
you'd think, but there's not.
But there's not.
There's not. We've turned that baby upside down and sponged it off. That is the best way we can do it. WFMJ today's anchor on tomorrow. Steve Veazey, YSN Live. Like, put that out on a marquee. Like, nobody can't. What's Michael Scott say? I don't know how I can say this any more clearly. Okay. Absolute just idiots. That's who we are. Idiots.
I feel like the show goes immediately off the rails as soon as I get in here.
Well, there is a
I
common
feel
denominator.
like I'm driving a train. And
There
I
is a-
am
no,
not
no,
certified to
no.
drive.
No, train.
We did so well.
See?
Why's it gotta be a
truck is
train,
flipped on
McNuggies?
its side.
Why's it
The
gotta
truck
be
is flipped on its side.
Why can't it be a tractor or?
A yacht.
I mean, yeah, because we talk about yachts flipping.
And there's no chance
Oh.
of a yacht crash in Youngstown. So like that's one that we could not offend anybody in the area. Be like,
Is that
hey,
because there's no yachts in Youngstown?
there's nowhere to put a yacht. Maybe you have to be up in Lake Erie. Maybe you can get a yacht up there.
And there's some Italian gentleman right now doing this guy and go, Anthony, Ronald, There
You
might
don't
not
know
be
what
yachts,
they're
but
talking about, my friend.
you're going to be swimming with the fishes there, Ronnie. Come on, baby. You don't talk about Youngstown like that. We got money. That's going to do it for the show because this show stinks. It's bad. Find something better to do. Like you've got all day. What are you doing here? We had a great show. We even got a drop in from McNuggies between Hunter Stacy and Coach Scrinjar and brought him back with some great information. McNuggies, great job. Unbelievable. But then
man.
This thing just absolutely nuked us in the face. Like just, oh, okay. Yeah, we saw that coming.
I don't know if using bomb metaphors is very appropriate at this time either.
Oh, that's where we're gonna start. That's where we're gonna draw the line.
That's where we draw the line.
We can talk about
line
train wrecks.
And
But
cross.
no, hey, as soon as we talk about bombs and nukes, you can't do that.
Cancel. It's over.
Sack of subs, Nuggies. Come on. That'll do it for the show. Let's get out of here before we say something real stupid because it is. I can feel it. Like Phil Collins, I can feel
Right
it coming
there.
in the air tonight.
Right there.
We are bordering. We will be back tomorrow. McNuggies will be back with the full listing of free agency frenzy and what teams are absolute idiots and morons and what teams are presumably the ones to look out for. And I would assume at this point they can just give the Lombardi Trophy to Pittsburgh because we just got a second receiver and we signed a corner today. Congratulations, Steelers. Hey, 7th Super Bowl coming. Congrats, McNuggies. I know you're excited about that. Sorry, Ant.
Yes. I already bought the tickets.
It was a good
Super
run,
Bowl
pal.
tickets have already been purchased.
Los Angeles, California. We're definitely not going to go there. Good run, Ant. Good run. You got Kelsey back and Super Bowl MCP. So we'll see how it goes.
Always wanted MCP.
That is going to do it for our show today. Thank you to Mike Scrinjar, the head coach of the Southern Local Lady Indians, who had a stellar year across the board. Congratulations to Hunter Stacy of Western Reserve, who's going to Ohio Dominican to continue his career in baseball and education. And congratulations to now the Oscar-winning Michael McKenzie on some great reporting. Somehow he won the Oscar for singing such a pretty song of the Steelers and their accomplishments here in the early stages of free agent frenzy. My name is DJ Yoakley. And as always, my co-pilot, Anthony Ronald Hartwig, a.k.a. the Ron Master, Ronnie Flex. And joining us regularly now, because that's a thing, is our legendary reporter on literally everything, Michael McKenzie. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a presentation of the Oakley Scott Corporation, LLC. This is YSN Live. We will see you tomorrow where we will try to be better. No guarantees. But at the end of the day, boys, may the sports be with you.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.